It is high noon in Vegas on the 18th of May, and the Vegas Golden Knights getting set for yet another trip to the Western Conference Final. Nighttime at noon with Dave Goucher, Shane Hnidy back together again. And we're in a holding pattern because the conference final does not start until Wednesday. Joining us right off the bat, too punctual for this group, Dylan Coghlan's been sitting here waiting patiently. Thanks for joining us here, Dylan, on Fox Sports Las Vegas, all the social medias too. People give the people what they want, and here you are. What's this? Let's start now. Like, is this next couple of days? Could the games just not come fast enough? Could we fast forward till Wednesday? Is that kind of how you feel right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think practice time is always good. This time of year, you don't really get a whole lot of time to, especially for me, kind of getting right into games and. It was for the first little bit, it was just morning skates and, skates for myself and a couple other guys. So it's nice to be on the ice and, kind of prepare the proper way and, get my touches in and, get a little bit of system work in and stuff like that. So, it's a little antsy and, especially when we finished that series so well and, we kind of just want to get going and get there and start playing. So, we feel good.
For yourself, big jump, right? Coming in, playing your first playoff games. How much was your year, in Henderson, maybe playing in all situations and everything, maybe help you jump in with the ease you did?
Yeah, no, it was huge. I mean, our coaching staff down there was awesome with me and, not just me, but a bunch of other guys too. And, it was one of those situations where it wasn't just old guys doing the work, and the younger guys were putting in as much work as the older guys, and it was showing in games. And down the stretch, I think we were the hottest team in the league, and that was a big part of why we were winning, was because of our younger guys, and obviously getting Bowman back helped a lot, and I think just the confidence of the group was good for me, and I think I kind of had a slow start, playing not really feeling confident in my game, and then halfway through the year it kind of just took off, and I was in the best spot I feel like I've been in my hockey career. So I think that was a huge help, and playing penalty kill, I haven't really done that as much as I did this year. I've always penalty killed, but not every time, and knowing I'm going out there first every time was huge, and getting a little bit of power play time too was awesome. And I feel great, and if it was a different story, probably not feel so good, but I've been playing a lot and it feels good.
14 goals, tied for the most among defensemen down there. Was it weird? You have a great season. You're there with the HSK to start the playoffs, and then you're not with the HSK. You want to be in the NHL. Yeah. I get all that. But was it kind of strange that the team's going on to that second round and you weren't there with your teammates all year long? Yeah,
I think that was a weird. It was a different call up than it usually has been for me. Like I said, we put in a lot of work, halfway through the season, and we didn't really have the start. Or actually, we had the start we wanted. We went 8 wins in a row after our first 2 games, but then we kind of just fell off. And we put in a lot of work though. I actually got the call. I was in the bathtub having an Epsom salts bath, and
that sounds wonderful.
Tim called me, and I was kind of thinking to myself and talking to my fiance. I was like, I'm excited, but it just feels different this time, and you're almost feeling like you're abandoning your team. But no, they were all super happy for me, and half the guys reached out, and I was pretty happy, and sitting there, it was a weird feeling though. I can't really describe it. It was bittersweet, and definitely tough to watch those games and not be able to have a say in it. So
that's a big jump too, right? To jump into NHL playoffs, round 2.
Yeah,
it's already elevated. Did you notice that right away? And you mentioned your confidence helped a lot from the way you're playing, but what do you notice the biggest change jumping in?
I think just the physicality. I mean, first shift I get blown up, and it was kind of
a good way to wake up.
Yeah, it was a good wake up call, and no, it was I was joking around about it, but it's true. I mean, I got that hit, and I was like, okay, I'm in it now. But yeah, it was a big jump. I mean, I've never really played in an atmosphere like that before either, and Anaheim's fans were pretty loud, and obviously people know I had my mom there, and that kind of gave me a little extra boost too. So yeah, I think the emotional side of it was a new experience for me, and kind of took a step back and just thought about where I was, and I wasn't too nervous. I was more excited for the opportunity, and I think it was a pretty long build up of I wouldn't say frustration, but I think I was wondering if I was ever going to get in a game in the playoffs, and now that it's finally happened, it feels right, and I feel like I belong here, and I've always thought that. I've never had that doubt.
I'm going to follow that up just because I was looking it up today. I was looking, you're 28, and I love guys that still alive, and you need something to build that confidence.
Yeah.
Darren Radish was 27, 28 when he had his first full year in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's in his third now. He just scored 22 goals and 70 points. Do you look at someone like that and say, hey, there's still that opportunity, that chance?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that. Actually, my fiance doesn't know a whole lot about hockey, and she never, before she met me, she knew nothing about it.
My wife didn't know anything when I met her, and still not very much.
Yeah.
I don't think she knows he works.
Yeah, no. She.
I get where you're coming from.
But she brought it up. We were just watching the Tampa game, and she was like, "Oh, who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Radish." She's like, "Oh, like he looks pretty good," and I was like, "Yeah, he's actually got his shot pretty late in his career, and scored this many goals, and he's running the top of the power play and playing PK, and probably going to sign for a big ticket this summer." So, I think it kind of just lights a fire in you, and I've never gave up before, and it was kind of hairy there for a sec, but just wondering if it was ever going to happen or if I was going to get my shot. I was pretty grateful for the last time I was here. I obviously played a majority of my games here, and went on to Carolina and didn't work out there, and then to Winnipeg and didn't really work out there either, and now I'm back here, and it's kind of a full circle moment where where it all started, and I watched a lot of playoff games here, and now that I'm finally getting that opportunity, it's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool.
We had a little chat before Game 6 the other night, pregame show, and I asked you, I said, did you start to wonder, would this moment ever happen for you to play in a Stanley Cup playoff game? And I think you phrased it a little bit like this. You couldn't let your mind go too far down that rabbit hole. How did you avoid going down that rabbit hole?
I think it's, obviously I've been down that road, and, had those thoughts, and if I was ever going to, make it, or if I was going to go to Europe, obviously I've had those chats with my fiance, and there was times where I was like, I think I'm, I don't know if I'll get another shot here, and but I mean, I've played an NHL game every year since I left here, so I can't really say I'd never got a shot. There's people out there in my position that still haven't played a game, and they're waiting for their shot, so I try not to think about it like that. But yeah, I think those doubts definitely crept in, and I never, like I said, I never gave up, or people in my corner were pretty supportive, and saying just stay with it, you're gonna get your shot, and it's happening, and just trying to make the most of it.
So for people that might not know this, you were around. This would be a much better playoff experience than the bubble.
Yeah.
so you were with the team in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be.
No, that was,
banana. How many days?
I think it was just under 60 in a hotel. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I was one of the guys, I think one of the 4 guys that were in a double bedroom.
Who was your roommate?
I didn't have a roommate, no.
Oh, you didn't?
But I
Okay.
had 2 beds and it just not a lot of room. And, I was rotating beds and stuff just to switch things up. But
Keep your sanity.
yeah, no, that was a cool experience. I mean, I think it was different for everybody, and I think the mental side of it kind of weighs on you if you're not playing and you're just kind of going stir crazy, and you're going from morning skate to sometimes not even morning skating, and you're waking up and going down having food and then wait until 7 o'clock till the game, and maybe going and watching a couple other games before yours. And yeah, it was a weird experience, but it's something cool to look back on and tell your kids one day.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot better. And you just mentioned mentally, think of the things you've been through. You think that's prepared you mentally to where you are now?
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's been numerous things that have kind of prepared me for this moment, and I'm just trying not to. People keep asking me, "Oh, this is huge for you down the line," and I'm trying not to think about like that, and trying to take this moment with
Enjoy it.
grain of salt. Yeah, kind of just enjoy it, and not think too far ahead and not take it for granted. But yeah, I think it's actually funny. Ryan McGill, our D coach last time I was here, shook hands with him after the game, and he was just saying better late than never. So that was pretty cool, and he had some nice words to say, which was awesome, and I appreciated that.
So you had Ryan McGill here, your first go around. You've had John Stevens here now recently.
Yeah.
He seems pretty intense. What's it like to have him as your D coach?
Yeah, I wouldn't say intense.
Focus?
Yeah, I think
Detailed.
I think he's just really focused on the details, and he expects a lot out of us, and I think that's a huge part of who he is, and why people respect him is of how detailed he is and comes to the rink, and he pulls guys aside, and he's not afraid to show guys videos, and which I love. And I'm not very good at assessing video by myself, and because if I watch my video by myself, I'm just like, oh, nice play. I don't really focus on the bad stuff, and so he just kind of gives me little pointers now and then, and but yeah, he's been awesome. I mean, we talked yesterday, and he's just keep playing the way you're playing, and where you're getting a good opportunity, and just try and run with it.
What have you done? We've heard John Tortorella talk about too, for you guys to get away from the game. What's your day away from the game?
Not a whole lot, honestly. My fiance's gone right now, so it's just me and the dog. And
I got the dog.
So yeah,
what kind of dog?
He's a Saint Bernard Lab mix.
Oh, small.
Yeah, no, he's
What's he
not
tipping the
clumsy at
scale?
all.
What's he tipping the scales at?
I think he's like 110 right now. He's 2. He's 2 years old.
He's only 2.
Yeah, we just kind of chill, and it's hard now with only 2 teams playing.
Yeah.
Where you don't have hockey every night, but I'm a big baseball guy, and so I watch baseball and occasionally basketball. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really.
Who's your baseball team?
I'm the Giants fan.
Oh, you are San Francisco.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. My uncle's from the Bay Area, so I grew up going to those games, and I actually grew up going to athletics games too. So it's cool that they're coming here.
And the dog's name?
Bubba.
Yeah. Will you and Bubba be chilling tonight watching Game 7?
We'll be chilling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, my one of my best friends actually lives here too, which is funny enough from back home. So, spent some time with him, and had him over yesterday. So,
all right. The last most important question: will Mom and your uncle be on? What's their travel plans here? For them?
my mom will not be. My dad's flying out for games 3 and 4. My dad, my stepmom, and my brother. I told my brother if we went to Game 7, I'd fly him out. So I couldn't really take that offer away from
you
Games
couldn't
3
take it
and
away.
4. So I'm flying my brother out. It was supposed to be just him, but then my fiance was like, you should invite your dad out since he didn't get to come
Sure, why not?
to Anaheim. I think he was pretty upset that he didn't get to see that. So
Yeah.
Oh, good.
yeah.
Well, thanks
That's
for this, Dylan,
fantastic.
very much. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it as
you.
always.
Thank you,
Dylan
guys.
Coghlan joining us here on nighttime at noon ahead of the Golden Knights getting ready for the West Final on Wednesday. We'll have more after this on Fox Sports Las Vegas. The Golden Knights, of course, continuing their quest for another Stanley Cup and in the Western Conference Final for the fifth time in their 9 years. Take on the Colorado Avalanche. Of course, the first couple of games will be on the road in Denver, but then the scene shifts back here to the Fortress. Game 3 on Sunday, Game 4 coming up on Tuesday. Tickets for both games still available. They start under $180 if you act quickly. Experience the best playoff atmosphere in the NHL, and you can watch the guys in gold hit the ice by visiting nhl.com/goldenknights/tickets for more information. Game 1 Wednesday, Game 2, Friday in Colorado before back here for Games 3 and 4. And prior to the practice here at City National Arena earlier this morning, John Tortorella met with the media.
Is there anything about Mitch that maybe surprised you since you've been here? Anything you didn't know about?
Well, when you're with him every day, I've seen him play for so long as an opposing coach. When you're with him every day, you can see his habits. You can see the little things he does in the game. Those are things that I find. As you guys, as other people see, it's the goals and assists, and maybe like the goal he scored the other night. I look at the small things. A lot of people don't realize how the small things turn to bigger things for him.
What have you liked most about the way the team has closed out the first two rounds, like going into Game 5, winning those games? I
think we've just gotten better as the round has gone on. I think you're always working on things, and you may have to make a change here and there within the lines, within your concept. But the bottom line is just handling the momentum swings as series goes on, winning one, losing one, how you bounce back. I just respect the team so much in how they handle those type of situations, and I think that's why we got better as the rounds went on.
Both rounds, you said you liked the hurdle round or the hurdle line. What stood out to you specifically about that, of why you?
Well, I think they're creating more offense. I think they need to be able to play against top lines at times too. I don't get locked into matchups, but I just think they've been more consistent. I think Tommy's been around the puck. I think us putting Sis there and switch him and Coley in those lines, I think has helped too. So they've been consistent in all of the play, with and without the puck.
Pavel Dorofeyev started kind of a little bit slow in both series and then really ramped it up. A bunch of goals towards the end of the series. Are you noticing something that he's kind of finding his way in some of these series?
No, I haven't noticed anything different in his game. It seems like he's beginning to be a high-stakes player and scoring big goals at big times. The puck follows him. I think he's worked, just as talking about Tommy's line, I think he's worked at his play away from the puck, which is imperative this time of year against, especially as you get, we're top 4 teams now, you have to be well-versed away from the puck. I just think he's worked at his game, and the puck's found him, and he's made big plays at key times.
You've talked about on non-game days, getting guys away from the rink, letting them mentally reset. Is that on a group-to-group basis, like just gauging the team, or is that something you've always believed in, getting guys away this time of year when they're not playing?
Yeah, I think the schedule, although we're in our first round, it was really weird for us having a couple of days in between. It's a lot of hockey these guys have played throughout the regular season, the grind. It turns into an emotional roller coaster during the playoffs, and it's such a tough game to play in playoffs. I think, and it's not a physical thing for me. I think it's a mental thing. I think you need to get them away. I think practicing this time of year is overrated. I think you get the stuff done with your video, what you need to get done as far as what you're thinking about with your team, and to have them fresh mentally, I think transforms physically.
You had a quicker turnaround from 1 to 2 than this series, 2 to 3. Is there a sweet spot for a break between series for coaches, and is it different coaches and players?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I have an answer. I felt when we started the second round, it came at us pretty quick. It was a hard round, and winning one, losing one, and getting it closed out in 6. So I don't know what's good. I know where we're at as a team right now. I think we feel, for me, and going back to the last question, I think we feel really good about ourselves mentally. I think we have confidence as a group. They're putting the work in the practice. I think the schedule we've had here, I think it's a good schedule as far as getting ready for this series. And we'll see. There's no right or wrong answer. It depends on the prior series, what went through, what the injuries were. And this is a schedule that's given to us, dictated by TV, and we follow suit and try to figure out how we're going to do our business to the optimum for our players as we start the series.
Jared Bednar talked a little bit about your group yesterday, just in respectful terms, and how effective you guys have been and how he respects you. As you've been looking a little bit at their group, is there anything that surprised you about them?
No, from a coach's point of view, I've seen them play all year long. Not so much as a coach in my situation coming in so late this year, but I've seen them play a lot of hockey this year. I mean, and I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about them, but we certainly respect them. They have been the top team of the National Hockey League all year long. We know that. Come to playoffs, we join together, right? I think it's two good teams, probably playing some of their best hockey starting this series. Let's have at it.
In your career, have you ever done anything or needed to do anything different regarding the altitude in Colorado?
No, it's overrated. We're certainly aware of it, right? We're aware of it, and you have to be. But I think if you spend too much time talking about it and fixing this, going here, going there, oxygen there, I think it manifests itself into something bigger than it should be. We might have to catch a couple of breaths here and there along the way, but we're going to play. That's all we're worried about.
Torts, Carter Hart regular season versus postseason, do you sense maturation, more confidence, more poise, anything going on there?
He's the same guy for me. He's a really good goalie that has a strong mental presence about that position. Same guy.
Anything else for Torts? Hannah, here in the front.
You talked a bit about how good Colorado's been this year. You're also a guy who's been not fully responsible, but involved in a team that upset a President's Trophy team that set records before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any similarities in these situations?
It's tough for me to answer that because I haven't been around. You know, I've been here for such a short time with the team. What it speaks to is playoffs, right? And I believe the coaching staff on the other team that we're coaching against probably feel the same way. Regular season's regular season. The playoffs, a lot of things can happen. I know they're going to be very prepared. I know this team is going to be very prepared, and we're going to play.
All right, that is John Tortorella with the media before practice earlier today. Of course, the Golden Knights getting set for the West Final, and it's down the road, but Season X, Shane, that's 10. 10 in Roman numerals. Coming up down the road, season ticket memberships for Season 10 are on sale for the 26-27 campaign. Memberships start at just $50 a seat at the upper level, $135 a seat at the lower level, $288 per seat for the Center Ice Club. Get more information on Season 10 ticket memberships by visiting nhl.com/Golden Knights/tickets. Lots we have yet to get to. A lot of that, the second round win against Anaheim, Colorado on deck in the West Final. There's a Game 7 evidently tonight between Buffalo and Montreal. And Dylan Coghlan was fantastic too. So, but we'll cover all that stuff. Las Vegas. All right, the Golden Knights getting set for the Western Conference Final. Before we get to that, if you've ever wanted to own a piece of Golden Knights history, VGK Authentics is the official channel for game-used items coming right off the ice, from game-used pucks to game-worn jerseys and everything in between. Ownership. You can own, rather, something from your favorite Golden Knights player that has never been so easy. Shop at VGK Authentics on VegasTeamStore.com. You can also stop by right here. We're sitting at City National Arena at the Arsenal, and also VGK Authentics kiosk behind Section 10 at T-Mobile Arena during games. Of course, huge games coming up for the Golden Knights, Shane, and impressive wins, 4-2 over Utah, 4-2 over Anaheim, and I thought the series kind of shadowed each other, right? They got better as it went on. I know they won Game 4 in overtime of the Utah series, but win Game 5 in both series, and then Game 6 was just both. It wasn't even close. I mean, it was a total 5-1 in each, so 10-2 in each of those Game 6 wins to close it out.
I've liked the fact that when they've smelt blood, they've been able to go after it, right? So that's always important, especially, and it's going to be like that in this series. You got to be able to do that game-to-game basis. Now, before we get to Colorado, you look back, a lot of things to like in this Anaheim. First and foremost, Mitch Marner, his performance, what he's been able to do, the chemistry he's built with Brett Howden. I think that has just been, and then obviously now the addition of William Karlsson.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, and certainly with the absence of the captain, how Karlsson we knew was going to be valuable, and I remember. I think the last time we did the pregame, I said it's not going to take him long,
right?
Because he's such a well-conditioned athlete. I actually went back. I visited him in Stockholm. I saw him train in the summer, and I did. Well, in Sweden, so there's a test called the Wingate. It's the worst test in the world on a bike. Usually only do it at training camp. In Sweden, they did it on Tuesdays and Thursdays 3 times.
In the off season.
Yeah, so you do it, then you rest 20 minutes, do it again, rest. I did it once, and my day was done. They hammer weight depending on your weight, and it's 30 seconds, all out sprint, and just buries your legs, your lungs, and then they take readouts. Anyways, he was doing that then. He hasn't changed. He's one of the most well-conditioned hockey players I've ever seen. And then his hockey IQ, and then I just think that fit he's had there. So that's good. Dorofeev seems to be all right on the Barbashev-Eichel line.
Worked out fine.
That worked out all right.
9 goals in the last 9 games he's played.
And then the big one, we're waiting for Hertl to get going.
Right.
Get going right at the right time, the end of the series, right? Now he's feeling it. You could just tell his strength, the way he was protecting pucks, what he did. His game just looks so much better overall. So, and then, we know what the fourth line, their identity, they get points great. So, obviously you'd like to see Lauzon and Stone gets back, but in playoffs, you don't wait on that. You just move ahead with what you have.
And they moved ahead with what they had in Game 6 without Braden McNabb.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true, yes.
You think about it, Shane, like in terms of the 2 most physical defensemen they have, Lauzon and McNabb, you pull them both out. I know Lauzon got hurt in the 6th game against Utah, so he's been out a while now. But, the meanness they can play with. I was saying to a degree when they lost Lauzon, it's almost like kind of lost Korczak too.
Yeah.
Because he kind of struggled a couple of games ago. Our guest here, Dylan Coghlan,
came
in.
How big has he been? I think he's played terrific.
He's been excellent. And, you never know when a couple of things, when your opportunity is going to come. Yeah. You said here he's, 28? 28. Steps right in here in the playoffs, has looked completely in place. And then we talked about this on the TV pregame show we did with Mallard, the chemistry part, right?
Yeah.
Howden and Karlsson had played together in the playoffs last year with Riley Smith. They'd never played with Mitch Marner. You would not know that. It looks like they played a full season together, just how good that group. How about Brett Howden? 3 shorthanded goals in his career. He's got 3 in the playoffs.
Well, he had 12 goals in, 58 games this year?
Yeah.
Now he's got, 8 already. Dorofeev's ahead of him leading the league. Marner's leading the, playoffs in points. And then, so all that's going on. And Jack Eichel's been really good, but only 1 goal. Right. There's more there. So I love the fact they got some of the guys going. And look at the back end. Rasmus Andersson, I still feel he's going to come on offensively. That's going to be a big part of it as we get into Colorado. Their D, obviously one of the best in the world they have in Makar, but it's going to be very important. So, and as it goes, we said, these guys in, out, McNabb, You never see it. You don't go far in playoffs in any of these years as long as you've been around or I've been around without depth. Talk about the importance of depth, especially when it comes playoff time. You never know how far down you're going to go into that depth, but you need it if you're going to make a long run.
And you go nowhere fast without dependable goaltending, right? And Carter Hart, he's had a couple of shaky games, right? The game, what game was it here? Game 3 in Utah. It wasn't great. Bounced back, won the next.
Won
the next 4, right? And won game 1 of this series. Same thing in the Anaheim game 4. Probably not great.
Probably thought,
right.
Couple Well, he's playing. He's in a groove. He couldn't really get to that, right? Got to it a bit at the end of the year. Had a little runway. Now he's into it, and I've just been impressed the way you talk about it. You get to this point in the year, the mental toughness fact. You have to, especially in that position, right? You're on your own island.
Yeah.
And we talk about the games he wasn't so well. We don't talk about the other ones. Like, they don't win game 1 without him doing. Like, he was so good in a lot of those games that waited for the team to come around or let them, Utah where they came from, hold them close enough. So I've just been impressed with his overall game. You need that. It's going to be very important and probably the toughest test. He's played a couple of really good offensive teams. I think kind of this route that the Golden Knights have taken to this Western Conference, Utah, dynamic, quick turn. Then Anaheim, who I think is a little bit better overall. Well, now they're going to go up a grade here, the best team in the league all year, but certainly another dynamic offensive team that it's got some other areas they're stronger in, but they've built their game to this point, and I know everybody's going to say, I think the Golden Knights can compete with this team.
Best team in the league all year, right? And they had that great start, and 8-1 now in the playoffs. Game 5 the other night, they're playing mini to close it out. They're down a couple, and it just seemed like they just turned it up, and next thing you know, it was over. And Kulak scores in overtime. But you look at all right, they win in 22. Golden Knights win in 23. Neither team's done a ton in the playoffs really since then, but now a whole different deal. I was thinking about that series in 20. Remember, everything was so weird back then. COVID, but they played back then. Colorado won the first 2 games at home, had the lead. My fading memory is, Shane, with 5 minutes left in game 3 here. They could have gone up 3-0, lost the game, obviously lost the series. Remember, Mark Stone had a huge goal, overtime, game 5, there in Colorado, and then the Golden Knights were able to close it out. But that's a long time ago, but you've got a Colorado team here that's been the class of the league all year. But how do you size it up? You think the Golden Knights can really compete? What say you, and what areas you like?
What I like about the Golden Knights, and what I think they've done is they have the ability to wear other teams down. And you're going to have to. You want this core, you want Makar and Taves, and if Malinsky, I think he'll be back. Even Burns, a big body. These guys are very offensive. Let them defend. You've got to put pucks behind. I think one area when I remember when Colorado won and Jared Bednar is still there, I think they're one of the best teams. We talk about puck management, game management between the blue lines. You cannot turn the puck over. They are right back at you. So this is about playing that direct game. Certainly there's going to be offense to find if you can wear them down. I think special teams are going to be a factor. Their penalty kill's been good. Both teams are pretty even. Although Colorado struggled during the regular season, they're 25%. Vegas at 25.7 here in playoffs. Vegas much better on the penalty kill. Goals for, obviously, Colorado a little better. Very similar goals against. They line up. But, I think they've got to manage the puck, certainly between the blue lines. And as much as possible, you've got to get that puck deep. Turnovers are going to be they happen, right? It's a game of mistakes, but limit them as much as you can against this Avalanche team.
If you got the Woods in net, but it's been Wedgwood, right? The Wedgwood and Blackwood, but Wedgwood has kind of he carried most of it for them.
Yeah, he carried most of it.
Yeah,
Blackwood played
seven
one
of the
game and
7
then
of the
went
8
back.
win. Yeah. So you always do these. You check the boxes. Like, would you give the edge to Carter Hart? He's been terrific here. He's been excellent.
Well, Wedgwood, I credit to him what he did this season, but I think Carter Hart's playing just as good. These is and I don't know how much the Avs have been tested. Like,
Yep.
Well, I guess there was that first game against Minnesota, but it was like 1980.
It was a pickup game in the middle of summer, 9-6.
That one you wash aside,
Yeah.
but it'll be interesting, and it's they met at the end of the season.
Yep.
And I know for the Golden Knights that was a big game.
Yeah.
Because just in case you got to this point, so I know, and I'm the biggest proponent. You don't carry anything from the regular season in, but this is one of those areas I'm like, okay, because once everything starts coming out, the Golden Knights are going to just hear about it's going to be all this avalanche, how great this team is, and with 8-1, same thing's going to happen in the East. Carolina is going to be a heavy favorite, right?
Yeah.
They haven't lost a game yet, but that said, I think they got it in the memory bank that they competed with this team and they know they can.
Yeah, the Golden Knights, they won that game to clinch the playoff spot, right? Jack Eichel scores in overtime on an odd man rush. And
great effort.
Yeah, terrific. And that was the end of a little road trip, too, I remember, for the Golden Knights. So, can they, kind of to your point, Shane, can you make Nathan McKinnon play in his own end as much as possible? And Cale Makar, right? I mean, you talk about two of the most dynamic players in the league. Not just, Lehkonen, I'm not sure if he's going to play.
Yeah.
He missed the last couple of games.
You can go up and down this lineup, right?
Yep.
Natchez is dangerous. Brock Nelson had a terrific season for them. He's a guy. There's a guy named Nick Waugh they picked up for depth. Kadri back there. He's not. He's gotten up there in age a bit. I don't want to say he's old because he's a lot younger than us. But this is the top to bottom. You look at this team. Yes, it's a very good hockey team, but so are the Golden Knights.
I saw something on the Twitters the other day, for what it's worth, and they said the Golden Knights traded Nick Waugh to Toronto for Mitch Marner, and now they're both in the conference final in the West against each other because Nick Waugh got traded from Toronto to Colorado.
The Maple Leafs, if any time you get a chance to step on it, you do.
You can't make this crap up. Nope, not at all. Well, speaking of making more crap up, we will do that. We're going to step aside. Of course, there's a huge Game 7 tonight between Buffalo and Montreal in the East. One spot left in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Carolina awaits the winner. So we'll have a Game 7 tonight between the Canadiens and the Sabres in Buffalo. We'll get into that. We'll get into the East a bit. There's been some interesting storylines out there as well. Coming up after this on Fox Sports Las Vegas. With you on Nighttime at Noon. One final segment here on this Monday. The Golden Knights have launched VGK Pay, presented by America First Credit Union, as a centralized payment system within the official VGK mobile app. VGK Pay is the smart way to pay for concessions and team gear at T-Mobile Arena and the Arsenal at City National Arena. Fans are also eligible to earn rewards known as Fortress Funds, and season ticket members can easily redeem their discounts when using VGK Pay. The VGK mobile app is available for iOS and Android devices.
Try that again.
iOS and Android devices in the App Store, or you can go to the Google Play Store. You know how all this works. A lot more than me.
Yeah, obviously.
It's a low bar, believe me when I tell you. But anyway, we've got, it's been an action-packed show. We had Dylan Coghlan. He was terrific. Yeah. We got into the Anaheim series. We get into the West Final between the Golden Knights and Colorado, beginning in Denver on Wednesday. And now we've got the East, Shane. Let's just start with the biggest news coming up, Game 7 tonight. How about Buffalo?
7?
Unbelievable, right?
I thought it was over.
Yeah.
You're up 3-1 in that atmosphere in Montreal, which we've said. People have asked me. It is elite atmosphere in Montreal, and they go up 3-1, and then all of a sudden, 7 straight.
7 in a row. Well, and how about the Sabres now in the playoffs on the road, 5-1? So I don't know if you always want a 7th game in your own building, but they haven't been great in their own building.
I just read a report. Somebody said they checked into a hotel in Buffalo last night.
Yeah, I knew
the
Lindy
Sabres
Ruff,
did.
I know Lindy said something about that. They were going to try and treat it like a road game. I know, but hey, who's to say it's worth it? It might be very much worth it if they win. Marty St. Louis went down this road in the first round. They had a chance to win Game 6 at home against Tampa. They lost in overtime.
Yep.
And then go back there and had 9 shots in one Game 7, right? In Tampa, which is the fewest shots ever in a Game 7 win, something like that. So anyway, but that series has been absolutely crazy. The Sabres are, I don't know how much any of this matters, but it's out there. They're 1-6 in Game 7s in their history. They won in 1997 in Game 7 against Ottawa. That's how long it's been since they've 1997. Their only win in a 7th game of a playoff series in their history.
Well,
I don't think they'll be thinking about that.
No, I don't think you think about that. And I watched a lot of this series. It is a coin flip. Both these teams can just all of a sudden turn it on offensively and forget about defense.
Yeah.
And they both can do it equally. They both have quick strike offense. They both, goaltending. Dobish basically won them their last Game 7. Yep. He's been incredible. They've gone. The Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's tried. Alex Lyon's been their guy. I imagine he'll be their guy for Game 7. He's been terrific. Another story, talking about Dylan Coghlan, a guy that's stuck with it and now been terrific for the Buffalo Sabres this year. This is, and then the special teams, the power play of Montreal's has been dangerous. I don't know what happened. I expected Montreal to clean it up in 6 at home. Now, I would have taken them in this series. It's tough. All that I know, I hope whoever wins this series wins the next one because they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
I have trouble watching Carolina.
I know. I haven't, full disclosure, I haven't watched much. Just 'cause it's
I don't. It's just.
But, and here's so they've been down this road. It's the 3rd time in 4 years they're in the Eastern Conference Final. Right,
they've had 2 months off.
They haven't played a game since February. Since before the Olympic break. 3 of the last 4 years now in the East Final.
Yeah.
The previous ones they've gone 1-12 combined in those 3 series. Right, and I think that's what people are just like. Well, this is all great, but we've seen this movie before. They haven't been in the Stanley Cup Final. This is 20th year. Since they won. And they're saying all the right things. Why wouldn't you? That we've had enough of that. Now we want to take the next step. Does the layoff matter? Well, they had 5 days off between rounds 1 and 2. It did not matter. They're going to have 11 days off. They're not playing Game 1 of the East Final till Thursday. It's going to be 11 days off, regardless of who they play.
Well, obviously there's some rust, but I think with the way that, we've said this before. Why do I think I think the Hurricanes burn out by the time they've gotten to the conference final? Because of the style of play they have that is so aggressive all over the ice. I think that's why they've had trouble getting over that hump. Yeah. Now, there's a belief, and I know the Golden Knights had that big year 1. They had too much time off, I thought, before the final, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think it hurt them. You want to play. You want a little bit of time to rest and recover, but you don't want to lose that game. advantage you have. So for Carolina, I think this may, just because of the way they play, this might help them. But at the same time, game one, we'll see how quickly they get up to speed at game pace. There's only so much you can replicate in practice, and you're going to have a team. But again, you're going to have a team coming out of a 7-game absolute battle. That who knows where their game's going to be at. They could be flying high and ready to go. So either way, I just hope it's more of a series than what we've seen with the past two in Carolina.
Right, 4-0 against Ottawa, 4-0 against Philly. Great moment at the end of that series, Rod Brindamore and Rick Tocchet. Brindamore giving Tocchet full marks for kind of bringing back the passion of the Flyers fans and getting them back into the second round of the playoffs. I mean, look, who knows? I mean, but Colorado and Carolina have been the two best teams. 8-1 and 8-0 respectively. But how much that's going to mean when you get to the third round remains to be seen.
Well, if Buffalo wins and everybody complains about the 1-8, 2-3, you'd have all 4 division winners.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From the 90 files. Was that in the files? Did you have it?
I heard that somewhere the other day.
It was on the Twitter.
No, I actually heard it, I think, on the radio. Yeah. But I found that interesting. So if the Sabres win, so, it's funny how it all plays out. Everybody, complain, oh, wow, the best team. Well, you're going to have the 4 best teams, 4 division winners.
Yeah. How many, so that 7th game tonight, how many, you remember off in the 90 files, how many Game 7s you played in well,
I've been a part,
around a lot.
Yeah, been around 3 in 2011.
They all worked out well.
I would say between 5 or 6.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that Bruins team won.
There was the one against. Speaking of Carolina,
heavens, yes,
that one didn't
2009,
end well. 2009 lost that one. I remember that one.
Yeah.
So there's been some good memories and some bad memories that the Toronto lost to them. Game 7.
That Bruins team in 11 was the first ever team to win 3 Game 7s and win the Cup.
Yes.
I remember seeing that note somewhere back in the olden days for the two of us. But,
yeah, it was either Game 7 or sweep, right? Swept the Flyers that year round 2.
And that was kind of payback for
Game 7 against Montreal,
reverse
4
sweep.
Straight, then
Yeah. Well, and does it? All the anticipation is great, right? But does the game settle in fairly quick?
You got to get to your game quick. I think that's very important, and I think the worst part of it is the lead up, right? The wait.
Yeah.
You just want that puck to drop, maybe the first shift, but then you're right into it, and it should be instincts. You've made it this far. I think the biggest thing is believing in yourself, your teammates, that you're a team that can go the distance, and it may take the last play of the game. That's the way it works. You've got to be prepared for that. And so many times we talk about that. Every play magnified, every shift, and then the momentum changes. You've got to move on from them quickly. You try to carry the good ones over, and then you lose those bad ones quickly and get back. It's that next shift mentality, that next play. What do you need to do? And everything. Playoffs is at heightened. In a Game 7, everything's on the line.
Yeah, and heightened even more so. As high as you can go. Yeah, obviously. So, well, look, so the Golden Knights, we'll have some pregame show coverage all through the rest of this run, however long it might last. Of course, ESPN has the Golden Knights Avalanche series, Game 1 Wednesday from Denver. 5 o'clock puck drop. We'll have a pregame show, some version of it. I think Shane and I will probably be involved. Yep. Ashley Weiss, Darren Elliott as well, Darren Millard, at 4:30 on Vegas 34. And one other note, and I know it's down the road, but I found this interesting. The Golden Knights are playing in the Stadium Series game next year in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. Tickets go on sale Thursday. Oh. So if you're thinking down
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a cool experience.
February 20th of next year. That's the Stadium
I've never
Series.
been to that stadium.
So hopefully, I don't know if we'll be invited.
No.
Maybe we can sneak in.
Why don't you buy us some tickets?
I'm going to go on the interwebs right now. 2 last row. All right, that'll do it for us. Dave and Shane with you. Thanks for everyone behind the scenes as well, and our thanks to Dylan Coghlan for stopping by. And Golden Knights and Avs, Game 1 coming up on Wednesday night of the Western Conference Final. Have a great Monday, everybody. We'll talk to you next time on Fox Sports Las Vegas.